Hello everyone, this is Titan. First of all, I want to thank you guys for all the support to the channel. It means a lot, I appreciate that. In today's video, I'm gonna give you guys a full Mythic Plus guide as Venthyr Restoration Druid. Keep in mind, this guide is only for Mythic Plus gameplay and not for raiding. Please, if you got any questions or anything you need to know, don't hesitate to drop a comment and I will do my best to answer your questions. And last thing before we start the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. So now let's get started. So let's talk about talents. I always recommend Scenario Ward as first talent because Scenario Ward is the best choice in this tier right now. This is an extra hot and will increase your overall healing output. This also scales with your mastery. Even if your mastery is slow, doesn't mean it will do bad HPS. It's still doing some great numbers. The thing is, with our new legendary buff in 9.0.5, Verdant Infusion, this talent is doing crazy single healing. I will talk about it later in the video. For the second talent, it's more like your own choice. It depends how you play the game and what dungeon you are doing. But I always recommend Renewal because Renewal is an active ability with 90-second cooldown. It heals you for 30% of your maximum health. It's usable in all shaped forms and it's off the global cooldown. I'll always go with Renewal because it's much safer for me. In some situations when you focus healing more than 2 players and you need to keep even yourself up, like in Pride those days it's so powerful and so hard to heal in high keys. When you're focusing healing 2 or 3 players and you see yourself you are getting really low, you just click Renewal and you are back up. This is really powerful spell. I don't recommend the other 2 talents because we actually have so many movement speed spells like our own dash and stampeding roll, so I feel that it's nothing we need in dungeons. For the third talent, I will choose Balance Affinity because that choice will give you so much that you really need. I will start with the passive for that talent. For example, when your tank is a DH and keeps jumping away while pulling mobs and killing them away, due to the passive increase the range of your abilities for 5 yards. Second, you will have Typhoon, which is very helpful spell. You can use it to help with interrupting a big group of casters, slowing mobs when your tank is kiting, or knocking the mobs away when it's sanguine weak. And of course, you gain access to the balance spec abilities like Monkey Form, Star Surge and Starfire. I choose this more than Feral because Feral with Venthyr ability is not that good. You have to build combos to do damage and you need energy for that, so go for balance. For tier 4, I would recommend Heart of the Wild. Heart of the Wild is an active ability with a 5-minute cooldown. It substantially increases your chosen affinity abilities, which is Balance Affinity. It will make your Star Surge cast directly without charging it. I recommend it to use that spell when you are free to DPS, special when it's a big group. And of course, always ready for boss fights. For tier 5, I'm using Soul of the Forest, because Soul of the Forest is the best talent for Mythic Plus this tier. After using a Swiftmend, it will increase the healing of your next regrowth or rejuvenation by 200%, even with wall growth 75%. This is a great talent for both single healing and AoE healing. I will explain that more in the video. For tier 6, I always have Spring Blossoms. This talent is so good, you just need to make sure to drop it where everyone is standing. To be honest, I always recommend to drop it where the tank and melee is standing, cause melee can get more scary damage. And of course, this need to get down when Pride is up. Imagine how much healing this will do. And finally, the last talent, my favorite one of course, I always choose Flourish. Flourish is an active ability with 90-second cooldown. It extends the duration of all your hots with 60 yards by 8 seconds and speeds up their tick rate by 100%. You can always use this for AoE healing or single healing to keep players up. Okay, let's talk now about stats. Stats is really important. I always push haste because haste decreases the cast time of your spells. Add sticks to our hots, reduce the global cooldown and the cooldown of specific spells indicated by green text in the cooldown section of their tooltip in-game. Make sure to not have so much haste, because if you keep casting your stuff so fast you will lose mana. To be honest, there is no number you need to get up to have enough of haste. I always recommend between 24 and 28 percentage haste, which is really good. But just as I said, make sure to not keep spamming things really fast. So please be careful out there. So yeah, at my second best stats, I focus so much on crit. Crit is really important. It gives a chance to double the healing down by your spells, which mean each individual hot tick has a chance to critically strike, which allow us to mitigate some of randomness. Today I got between 17 or 19 crit, and I'm working actually to get higher of that. And after that, we will talk about versatility. To be honest, versatility is so good. I got between 9 and 11% versatility base stats, cause everyone is taking versatility. In Shadowlands, we have seen that so many gear have actually versatility, and everyone is just going that, like shamans is going versatility crit, and you don't need lower than 5 versatility. You need to get higher of that, like between 7, 8 or 7 and 9, like somewhere there. Having low versatility, it's really bad in Mythic Plus, because things are happening, you get damage or you get hit by stuff. You need versatility because it's so good. It helps you even with healing. Okay, let's now talk about the Venthyr class ability. The Venthyr class ability for Druids of all specs is Revenous Frenzy. It's a 3-minute cooldown. With that, every spell cast in 20 seconds grants you 2% damage and healing and 1% haste stacking buff. Remember, after using Frenzy, you need to start spamming. If you don't use any spells in 2 seconds, it will break and stun you for 1 second and take 1% of your maximum health. I recommend to use Frenzy for big pulls, for pride, and even boss fights if you want to do some damage. For the second ability, we have Door of Shadows. This ability makes you teleport from one spot to another spot with 1.5 second cast time. To be honest, that's everything I have to say about that ability, because we Druids got stealth and good mobility to use for skipping mobs in Mythic Plus. This is nothing I use all the time, to be honest. Okay, let's talk about Soulbinds. This is my Soulbinds. I tried Nadia and even Theator, but none of them was good like General Draven. Picking General Draven will give you access to service in stone. You will do more healing if you are alive than this trait do with your dead. It's nice bonus when it does proc. And the second one, listen to this my friends. We are Druids, we like to move and jumping around, but not with hold of ground. While standing still, it will give you 10% stamina and 4% extra healing down. If you move, this buff will stay up for 4 seconds, then you need to stand still for 3 seconds to get it again. So please stand still. Guys, we are finally here. Now we will talk about the legendary. Today, I'm using Verdant Infusion. It's basically a tank healing legendary. You can extend Scenario Ward twice if you use Swiftmend on cooldown. This provides very high healing to such an extent that you will not need to do much else to keep a tank alive. I will tell you the rotation for this legendary. You start using all your hearts on the tank before pull. Then you use Scenario Ward and wait until it proc. After it proc, you use Swiftmend directly. And now your Soul of the Forest is active. That means your Rejuvenation or Regrowth Hot will do 200% healing, and don't forget 75% healing on your World Growth. Remember to track your Scenario Ward and even Swiftmend. You will have 1 second between them, so you need to use Swiftmend again to refresh your hearts on the tank. And believe me, with that playstyle, you will keep the tank top plus not killing your own mana by hotting the tank again and again and again. So guys, finally, let's talk about the Pride and how you should heal it. So, the first thing I do when Pride is up, I put my Efferences on the ground where there's melee is. Second, I start the fight with Moonfire, Sunfire, plus casting between 2 or 3 Wrath to help a little with DPS. After that, I full hold the tank and do the Scenario Ward rotation. When it procs, I use Swiftmend to activate my Soul of the Forest. After that, I use World Growth and then I start hurting everyone by casting Retribution and Regrowth. In all this, make sure to keep tracking your scenario ward to Swiftmend the tank again to refresh his hearts and even cast World Growth again. Plus, Effluencer should you use when the timer for it is ticking out. That's it for this video. If you got any questions or anything you need to know, make sure to drop a comment. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and drop a like. See you guys in another one.